So I hope you are totally relaxed by the time. So we'll quickly do Om chanting and then we'll start our discussion. So close your eyes, take long and deep breath in. Now rub the palm on your eyes and we can begin. So this is your theory class. Today morning you had a wonderful practical session, one theory session. Next week, Sunday, I will be taking your practical class and theory session also. So this theory class is important as it helps you to understand what exactly you are doing. Yoga is totally practice. It is related with the life. It is related with your health and your spiritual life, 101%. But we need to understand whatever we are doing, why we are doing this, and what is the science behind each and every practices. That's why we have to learn theory also. Practical and theory, both are equally important. Got it. So today I am going to take the yoga philosophy and scripture. We'll go system by system. We'll learn in such a way that learning number 1 helps in learning number 2. So it will be a progressive learning. So today's topic for discussion is overview of yoga. So it's like a general knowledge, a general understanding about the yoga in a philosophical way. This topic is important for your exam purpose because many questions they ask in the exam in multiple answer question answer type, multiple choice questions, MCQ. And this topic is also good to give, small lecture. Suppose you go to somewhere and they say, okay, talk about yoga. Certain topics they will give to you. For that kind of small topics where you're not running a big course, but you just want to give 10 minutes of lecture on some topics of yoga. So that time, this overview of yoga is very, very useful. It will be useful to answer some of the very general questions. For example, when is the origin of yoga? From where the yoga came into existence? Who was the originator of yoga? Who is the father of yoga? That kind of question. Very simple general knowledge question. Yeah, if the public asks you, then you will be able to answer from this topic what I am going to discuss you. So that's why I said overview, so that you can understand, okay, it's about overview. Inside, I have described yoga philosophy and scripture. So in this, you learn about the word yoga itself. What is the meaning of the word yoga itself? So etymology. You will learn about the etymology. That means yujur yoge. In your syllabus, it is given. So in the syllabus, what I have created by combining everyone's syllabus, so that it covers most of the institutions' syllabus. Yujir yoge, yujir samyoge, and then yujir samyane, and then yujir samadhav. So yoge, samyoge, samyame, and samadhav. So this Sanskrit word, when you convert into English, it becomes more difficult to pronunciate. In Sanskrit, it is easy. So I will just keep talking so that you hear it properly and then you will understand how to pronunciate it. Then some scriptural definition will take, like from Patanjali Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, and Kathopanishad. These are the few scriptures we will give a review or survey. And then aim, objective, and misconception. What is the aim? Why we are practicing yoga? What are the objectives? Means how to reach to the aim, and what are the misconceptions about the yoga. And then you will go into history, origin of yoga, history of yoga, and how whatever right now we are practicing, how it came into this form, whatever I am practicing right now. And then general principles of yoga and healthy life, healthy living. And then you will go to the, again, general understanding of Shad Darshan, 6 principles, 6 philosophy of yoga, 6 philosophy of India, not yoga. Yoga is one of the philosophy. I will repeat again. So we are going to discuss about the overview of yoga. Very general understanding about the yoga. Overview of yoga. Very general understanding about the yoga. This topic will help you to crack some of the question which generally they ask in the exam. In the exam, they generally ask some of the question from this area. So that I will tell you that this topic, they can ask this kind of question. Second benefit is to give some lecture, small lecture. If you want to give some small lecture on yoga, the topic is not well defined. And the topic are from very general point of view. For example, just give me some basic principles of yoga or just talk about yoga. If somebody tells you, okay, just talk about yoga in a corporate, in a company, small gathering, that time also it is very useful. And it will be useful to give answer to some of the general question, not technical. For example, how Kapalabhati helps in improving memory. This is not a general question. This is a specific scientific question. That is different. But very general question, like how yoga came into existence. Who is the father of yoga? Whether yoga is from Hindu religion or from Christian religion or from Muslim religion, or there is any religious background behind the yoga. These very simple questions people can ask you, and you will be able to answer from the topic I am going to discuss. So you can take this topic as a general understanding of yoga. Very general knowledge of yoga. So let's begin. So first topic, as I told you, etymology. Etymology means word meaning or the meaning of word yoga itself. And then definitions. We will explore some of the definitions of yoga in different scriptures. And aim, objectives, and misconception. So during the discussion itself, we'll come to know what is the aim of yoga, why we are practicing yoga, what you are going to achieve. And in the same, we will learn about the misconception. What are the misconceptions? Objective means how to achieve that aim. Okay, we know this is the aim, but how to achieve that? Then you will learn about the origin, history, and development. Yoga practices, principles of yoga practices. Introduction to Shad Darshan, sixth philosophy of India. This is what we are going to study. So let's begin with the word yoga itself. What is the meaning of word yoga? This is the first topic of discussion. And you can understand this is also a kind of general knowledge. We should understand what is the meaning of word yoga. So I have given you notes, these notes. There's a little bit of disorientation at the last part of the note. So I will send you again fresh notes. I'll make it PDF file, proper PDF file. And then I'll send you the same notes again by organizing because it's very big, around 28-30 pages, general knowledge. So let's begin. So in Vedic Sanskrit, yoga means to add, to join, or to unite, or to attach. Yoga means to add, to join, to unite, or to attach. And this came from root word yuj. Yuj is the root word. Now in Sanskrit, we have root word. From the same root word, many words will be coming. And that root word will be keeping the essence of that particular word. So what is the root word of yoga? Yuj. What is the root word of yoga? Yuj. They can ask you a very simple question like this. What is the root word of yoga in Viva or in theory class? So root word of yoga is yuj, Y-U-J. Or you can write, those who understand Sanskrit, ya, ukar, ja. So like this, those who understand Sanskrit, ya, ukar, ja, halant, yuj. So this is the root word. So in Sanskrit, from the root word, many words can be created. So simple understand. And what is the meaning of the word? To add, to unite, to attach, or to join. Like this. Bringing two separate entity together. So two separate entity, my two hands, now it become a yoga. my two hand is in the state of yoga. Means two separate things. If you bring it together, we can call it as a phenomenon of yoga or yoga. Got it? So that is the basic meaning of yoga. There are many compound words. Now this yoga we know as a practice, philosophy or science, but the same word yoga or yoga is used in mathematics also. In mathematics it means summation, addition. In mathematics it is addition or summation. Same word yoga or yoga in astrology means conjunction of two planets. When two planets stay in the same house, then also we call it as a yoga. Like Gajakesari yoga, Chandramangalya yoga. There are many yoga, Buddhaditya yoga. When Sun and Mercury sit in the same house, called it Buddhaditya yoga. When Moon and Jupiter sit in the same house, we call it as a Gajakesari yoga. Get my point? When Moon and Mars sit in the same house, we call it as a Chandramangalya yoga. So the word yoga has many meanings. So in astrology it means two planets are sitting in a same house, but you see general meaning is same. Addition, union, unification, unite or join. In Ayurveda, when two herbs, there are many yoga. There are also yoga, like combination of many herbs. One medicine you can create and you can say yoga. Getting my point? So there are many yoga in the Ayurveda also. Same way, when the two instruments brings together, also called as yoga. So in general, the word yoga is used in many places. Now we understand yoga or yoga as a science, as a philosophy, or as a way of life, or a system of practice. But the same word yoga can be used in astrology, can be used in Ayurveda, and in general purpose in mathematics, yoga means summation. Yoga means addition. So ultimately yoga means to unite, to add, and to attach, to join. The root word is yuj. The root word is yuj. This you have to remember. You just listen carefully. You don't have to, mug up. This is not a university learning. Everything is related with the life. Every day you have to devote half an hour to 45 minutes just to go through topics and main points. That's more than sufficient to remember. Is it clear? Now, we'll go a little deeper. What is that? Let's explore the word yoga in our perspective. What is that? According to Panini. Now, Panini is a grammarian. Panini is the name of a grammarian, Sanskrit grammarian. 6th century BCE Sanskrit grammarian. The word yoga can be derived from either two roots. So they say yujur yoga and yujur samadhau. Now according to Panini, one is yujur yoga, that means yoke or to combination or to bring. And then he also say, okay, yujur samadhau. Samadhau means integration, orientation, integration. Integration of what? Integration of mind. Different layers of mind to be integrated into alignment. You can say samadho means in one very general understanding, samadho means meditation. So according to Panini, he says that this yuzir word can be used for the yoga purpose also, like bringing the two things together, and can be used for samadho. Now samadho is relevant to the what yoga we are knowing right now. Samadho. That means concentration. In the context of Yoga Sutra, yujir samadho means in Yoga Sutra is I'm talking about the yoga philosophy. Patanjali Yoga Sutra is considered as a yoga philosophy. So yuj samadho is taken in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So in yoga philosophy, we are more talking about the samadho, that means concentration part. And that's why in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it is samadho, which is traditionally taken as a meaning of yoga. That means yoga means concentration. Traditionally, according to Panini. Got it my point? And Vyasa, who has written commentary on Patanjali, Yoga Sutra, that also focus more on samadhi. Samadho or samadhis is same word. Samadho and samadhi is the same word. So till now what we have learned? Yoga, general meaning of yoga is to add, to unite, to attach, to join. It can be used in mathematics, it can be used in astrology, it can be used in Ayurveda. What is the meaning of our yoga? Our yoga in general, in yoga philosophy means concentration. So, yujir samadho is a main, samadhi. Samadhi is the main meaning of yoga in our context, in yoga philosophy. This is what we have learned till this time. Now again, now see, this yoga is an ancient science. We all know that. And in modern time, it has been revived by many yogis, and then we practice yoga. However, you will see yoga has become a something else very much away and away from the main meaning of yoga, that is samadha, concentration. So people are more behind the body. They more practice asana, 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 asana. It's become a fitness. Or sometimes it become a therapy, like yoga is taken as a therapy. All these fitness, therapy, relaxation are the part of yoga practices. We should do it. But the basic purpose, aim of yoga is samadha, state of concentration, absolute concentration. So focusing of the mind, or even going beyond mind and focusing all of your energy channels into one direction at one point, inner awareness, absolute inner awareness is the main purpose of yoga. So this article or this essay is written in such a way that we should not forget about the highest purpose of yoga. Fitness, health, all are the side effect and necessary requirements to go into the state of concentration. Now in modern time, I see there are many schools came into existence, and every schools are trying to teach the yoga in their own way. So now, forget about concentration. We have diluted, modified even the practices. That it is very difficult to understand what original yoga means. Now many kinds of yoga came into existence, and different parts of the world, people are practicing in their own ways. So now it is very difficult to understand what exactly yoga means. However, in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, that is the yoga philosophy, it is clearly mentioned that the purpose, aim of yoga is to go into a state of concentration, a state of focus, a state of absolute awareness. Absolute awareness means the awareness which is not governed by the effect of memories, karmas, or the circumstances. It is absolute in nature. Perception is absolute in nature. The person is always in the state of samatvam. We will explore a little more about it. What does it mean? Getting my point? I will just read this up to here in page number 2 so that you can understand what exactly I'm trying to tell you. So just listen carefully. Yoga. So if you have these notes with you, which I have given to you, either in your tablet or in a printed form, you can read with me. So you don't have to read, you don't have to do hard work. So after the class. So most of the work is done during the Saturday, Sunday program. Weekdays, you can just have a look. Just have a look to revise. You don't have to bother about the theory, and 1.5 hour of practice is required. That's why I said Yoga Teacher Training Program is very easy program. You don't have, it's not like university and competition program. Saturday, Sunday program, you attend very sincerely. It is very important. That is more than sufficient. Weekdays, only 1.5 hour of your practice, and only half hour, 45 minutes, just open the theory paper, go through just a glance. So in the class itself, you will be able to manage everything. You don't have to bother about mugging up, and this is not a university learning. This is different kind of learning. Just flow with me. You can read with me or just listen carefully. Yoga based its origin upon necessity felt by ancient sea to get rid of themselves from sorrows permanently. How yoga came into existence? What is the fundamental basis of yoga? Traya dukkha, 3 types of pain and suffering we want to get rid. Why we should practice yoga? We want to get rid of 3 kinds of pain and suffering. What are the 3 kinds of pain and suffering? Daihik, bhautik and daivik. Daihik, so I will talk about in elaboration when I go into deeper part. Right now we are just trying to learn the overview, very shallow understanding, not deeper. So when I will teach you Sankhya philosophy, that time I will give you more elaboration. So don't bother, don't write. When I will tell you to write, then only you write. So 3 types of pain and suffering we want to get rid. What are the 3 types of pain and suffering? Daihik, that means the pain which is arising from genetic makeup, from the body. We have got one body having certain genetic pattern that also creates certain kind of pain in the body. You get disease, many kind of disease, physical and mental. So we want to get rid of this. First. Second, bhautik. Bhautik means from environment, from the people, from the non-living beings of the environment. We are also getting influenced by the dukkha. So that kind of suffering also we have to get rid. And third one is daivik, psychic, deep psyche, karmas. We don't know from where the pain and suffering is coming. You have got everything in your life, still the suffering is not ending. That is called as daivik. Unknown cause, psychic reason for the suffering. So the journey of yoga starts from the getting rid of first all these sufferings. Traya dukkha, daihik, daivik, bhautik. Physical, environmental and psychic or unknown cause of the pain and suffering. That is the first stage. Now, these unknown ancient one, while minutely observing the life phenomenon, have observed that so long we do not become aware of lost link of oneness between ourselves and infinite, we cannot escape from suffering. Now, how to get rid of the suffering? We need a connection with the infinite. We need a state of samadhi, samadho, highest level of concentration. Then only we can get rid of this problem. We'll talk about it in more detail when we go into Patanjali Yoga Sutra. I'm going to teach you Patanjali Yoga Sutra in very, very detail. That will be main attraction of your TTC, because very hardly somebody, yoga practitioners, are learning Patanjali Sutra. They are just practicing, and after some time they get bored because they don't know the purpose of practicing yoga. So they're trying to experiment with the practices. They do different kinds of things. And ultimately, years of practice, they get lost. Not able to reach to the final position. To regain the true awareness of oneness and to realize our divine nature is the highest purpose of yoga. What is the aim of yoga? To regain a true awareness of oneness. See, I will repeat again. To realize our divine nature is the highest purpose of yoga. How to get rid of these 3 dukkha? Only one way is possible. What is that way? True awareness of oneness and divine nature. Our divine nature, I will talk about it in even detail when you go to Patanjali. This Yoga Vidya is said to be as old as human existence, handed down to us from one generation to other in form of living tradition, systematized around 200 BC by sage Patanjali. Now, sage Patanjali is called as father of yoga. Why? It's not that he has originated this yoga, no. But this Patanjali has compiled all the formulation and techniques of yoga into darshan, yoga darshan, Patanjali Yoga Darshan. So he is the person who organized, systematized, compiled all the knowledge of yoga, existing knowledge of yoga during that time. Getting my point? Somebody is messaging something. This file, I have sent you this file. Kruti, I have sent you this file. Overview of yoga. Page number 2. See? Page number 1 or page number 2. It is there. Overview of yoga. Overview of yoga. You say in the You go to the email, you can check in the email also. You can check in the email also. It is there. In case it is not there, don't worry. You just listen carefully. It's all very general topic for understanding. So Patanjali is supposed to be the father of yoga, not because he has originated yoga or created yoga. He is a discoverer of yoga. No. Around 200 BC, the date is very debatable. We don't know exactly when he has written his book. So he has written a yoga book called as Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Sutra means formula. He has compiled the knowledge of yoga. So you want Sanskrit to convert into English to convert to Sanskrit. I will see. You just listen carefully, or what you can do is, in your own language, because people are from different world, you have different language, you listen what exactly I am saying means, you write down in your language also. You can write in Marathi, Tamil, Hindi, Sanskrit, any one language in your notes. So it will be very easy for you. I'll try to put the Sanskrit word, because converting this into Sanskrit is not so easy also. You need a printed Sanskrit. I'll see. So come to the father. So Patanjali has not discovered yoga. What he has done is, he has compiled, systematized, organized the knowledge of yoga during his time, 200 BC. Got it? However, in contemporary time, the perspective of yoga has been shifted significantly, wherein the deep and eternal essence of yoga has been misconceived, misinterpreted, and reduced into few exercise, undermining its spiritual dimension. This is a misconception. The relative position of the posture, that is asana, has been elevated so to lead the people to believe that yoga refers to physical posture only, as well as a few breathing exercise on the name of pranayama, and the goal of these is nothing but physical fitness. Physical fitness is definitely required because we need to get rid of the physical problems. But you should not get stuck there. We are totally stuck there. We are not moving forward. Yes. The term meditation and meditation workshop on the name of yogic sadhana is also prevalent and considered to be a very powerful technique which increases overall performance level of the people in their own field. The whole and the part has been reversed, terribly misleading and confusing people about the true nature of classical yoga. Such group of people claim that they give more importance to Hatha Yoga as well as Ashtanga Yoga. Now these are the names, brand names also. Hatha Yoga, they are teaching something else. They don't know what exactly Hatha Yoga means. In my opinion, this exclusive one-sided emphasis on few Hatha Yogic practices like asana and pranayama need to be rethought, because if Hatha Yogic practices are not lead to the Raj Yoga, then they will be considered merely a series of gymnastic exercise. Therefore, there is a need to redefine the meaning of yoga to clarify its purpose so that the pure and pristine message of classical yoga may be understood in its true perspective. In doing so, with the help of the etymological meaning of the term yoga as well as its various form, dimensions as understood in classical literature, here an effort has been made to understand true importance of Ashtanga Yoga, its classical perspective, simultaneously drawing the attention towards its missing part in contemporary understanding and practices of yoga. Got it, my point? So, people are just coming, doing some exercise, asana, little bit of pranayama, little bit of relaxation, and they have lost the meaning of yoga. To re-establish, we'll go through the scriptures. We'll go through the... Now, here right now, we are just overviewing it. Okay. Detailed study we'll do after this chapter. Sankhya philosophy as well as Patanjali Yoga Sutra, you will explore it in a detail. So that will give you even better and more understanding. So just flow with me. We have very general knowledge of yoga. We have just started. Now, let's understand the meaning and definition. Generally, the term yoga is understood as meaning, method, and technique. However, when goes through the great commentary of sage Vyasa on Patanjali, what he says, you see, beautifully he says, Yogena yoga gyatabhya. Yogena yoga gyatabhya. Yogaiva upadhyaya. That means yoga should be known through yoga, as yoga itself is a teacher. What does it mean? Now see what formula say. Yogena yogo gyatabhya. Yogaiva upadhyaya. That means yoga should be known through yoga, as yoga itself is a teacher. What does it mean? Yoga should be known through yoga, as yoga itself is a teacher. Now you have to write, or you can talk in this one, Zoom. What does it mean? If I'm saying yoga can be known through yoga because yoga is a teacher itself. What does it mean? Just scratch your head a little bit. Think. It's not you have not done yoga before. Now let's start. Slowly. So the classes will be very interactive, okay? Don't sit quietly and listen lecture to me. As I told you, yoga is experiential science. It's a science of life. We hardly read any books. After many years, when in ashram, I will tell you something in Bihar School of Yoga. We studied 2 years in the Bihar School of Yoga. And we hardly are allowed to read some books. There is no reading. There is no reading. 2 years, no newspaper, no radio, no TV. And there is no library. You hardly somebody will go to library and study something. Hardly there is a study and reading. So now, what I'm saying right now, you try to understand. If you understand this, what Sage Vyasa has said, this is the essence of yoga, your teacher's training program. If you understand this, what I'm saying, yogena yoga gyatabhyam, yogaiva upadhyaya. If you understand that, you don't need to remember the Sanskrit word, okay? At this moment, you don't try to do it because there will be too much of bombardment of information. Just try to understand the concept. Yoga can be learned or understood by yoga is because yoga is a teacher. What does it mean? Yoga should be known through yoga, as yoga itself is a teacher. This is what they say. And this is the essence of your yoga teaching. If you understand this Sanskrit formula, you will understand everything. So start speaking now. What does it mean? Somebody said, let me see. Yoga is not learning as tool, but is a lifestyle. So teaching yoga is by being a yoga lifestyle. Very nice, very good, Manasa. So Manasa is the youngest student in this group. Very nice, good, very good. Assuming by practicing yoga, you can understand yoga. Very nice. Keep speaking, everybody. You don't be silent. Otherwise, you will sleep and you will not learn anything. In beginning, I was speaking because I have to create a right mood so that we can carry forward our discussion. We can carry forward, we can start. But in yoga class, you should not sit like this. Everybody, please don't sit. This is a bad mudra, nididhyanam. Only when you want to think something great, you have to sit like this. See, I'm not sitting like this. Yoga teachers should like this. You see, always in cross leg, spine upright. So many times what happens, people are trying to sit like this. Full. It should be upright, naturally upright, so that energy can flow up and down very easily. And this should be your habit. In the ashram, when we were in the ashram, there is no chair, you know. You have to sit on your mat or the cushion, and there will be one desk here. That's it every time. Every time there is no chair, there is no table. Even eating food, there is no chair and table. There is no sofa, forget about sofa. So we are used to sitting on the floor. So always sit upright, any mudra. So when you sit upright, this is a mudra, mudita. So now start writing in the YouTube, or you have to unmute yourself, Khushbu, Dimple, Diago, or Anand and Sunil. You have to just unmute yourself and say something. When you say something, then you don't have, this will not pile up. There is no bombardment of information. It's all very simple. Yoga is very simple. Okay. So just start speaking something, unmute yourself and say something. What does it mean by it? Yoga should be known through yoga, as yoga itself is a teacher. This is what Ved Vyas. You know the Ved Vyas? Who is Ved Vyas? We do Guru Purnima because that was the birthday of Ved Vyas. You know who is Ved Vyas? So this knowledge of yoga, knowledge of spiritual science in Indian continent was always through Ear to ear means Guru will tell in the ear. So it is learned through the without book. It was the state of Shruti. So Ved Vyas is a person who has just compiled all the knowledge of Ved and Yoga. So he is a person who has written. He is not the discoverer or originator of Veda. So all the 4 Vedas he has written. Bhagavad Gita he has written. Mahabharata he has written. Okay, so he is a person who compiled the all knowledge of spiritual life in India. That is Ved Vyas. So that whatever he says, that means a lot. So very nice, very good answers has come here. I am very happy that you are understanding this. Yoga can be, by practicing yoga only, you can understand yoga. So practice is the most important part. So 7 days a week, you should practice yoga. 7 days a week, you should practice yoga at least 1.5 hours. 1 hour of asana pranayama and 15 to 20 minutes or half an hour of your meditation. Asana, pranayama, meditation, shatkarma in a periodic way. We'll see shatkarma in 15 days once or once in a month. When it is required, then you can practice. It is very important that you practice, don't give up practice. Theory, you just be attentive in the class. Be attentive in the class. Very nice answer has come. I am very happy that you are understanding. Very good. Now we'll move to the next. So yogena yogo gyatavyam yoge upadhyaya. Upadhyaya matlab teacher. Now see next. The statement of Sage Vyas indicates 2 aspects. Yoga as a dhyaya and yoga as a sadhana. It means yoga is a purpose, yoga is a goal, and yoga is a sadhana. That means practice. Yoga is a goal, yoga is a sadhana, and yoga is a sadhana. So this is very important to understand that it means that yoga is a dhyaya, that means end aspect of the to be achieved, and yoga as a sadhana, that means means and method. So here is the aim and objective. What is aim? Achieving the state of yoga, samadho, perfect concentration. And who is the objective? Yoga itself. The practices of yoga itself is a objective. Now we will elaborate it in a even a broader and bigger way. Is it clear? Is it clear? Is it clear? Now go into next. So, sir, see, I think this Kruti, you don't have any issues, right? I think you have this note. This is just first day. In coming weeks, will be more sophisticated, and I will understand your requirements, and you will understand how we are moving towards. Everything is given. If you don't have also, don't bother. Just listen carefully. It's very easy. So, yoga is a end goal, purpose, and aim, and yoga is the method also. Clear? Now move to next. Let's examine the statement on the basis of etymological meaning of the term yoga. Different definitions thereof available in classical literature. The term yoga has derived from Sanskrit word yuj. Yuj word you always remember. This yuj is very important. Okay. Now move to the next. Now, yoga, so see, yuj samyoge, yuj samadho, yuj samyame, samyame, yuj samyoge, yuj samadho, yuj samyame. What is my yuj samyoge means unity, samyog, bringing the 2 things together. So what will be merging with what? What will get joined with what? We will explore. And then samadho means concentration, putting it together, or integration. Integration of what? We will learn. Sanyame means control, restrain, control. So the yoga can be understood in an elaborated way in 3 parts. First part is uniting. Which 2 parts? We'll explore. Second is samadho. That means concentration, integration, and unification. Putting it together. What? We will explore. And then third meaning of yoga is sanyame. Sanyame means control. Controlling what? To what to control? Let's explore. Now, First definition represents samyoge. Samyoge means what? What is going to bring together? What is going to merge with what? Samyoga yoge iti yukto jivatmana paramatmano. This is the meaning. So what is the meaning of yoga? So unification of individual self with the higher self is yoga. Here the term yoga indicates the ultimate union that stands for the end aspect of yoga, applicable to Hatha Yoga, Vasishta Samhita, Yoga Yagyavalakya, Yogi Yagyavalakya, Yoga Vasishta, Ashtang Yoga of Charandas, etc. Now, this understanding has come from these texts. What are the name of the text? Hatha Yoga text. What are the Hatha Yoga text? Hatha Yoga Pradipika, Gheranda Samhita, Goraksha Samhita, and there is one more, Hatha Yoga Ratnavali. And there are many other Hatha Yoga texts. And then come Vasishta Samhita. Vasishta Samhita is a part of Ramayana. And then come Yogi Yagyavalakya. So Yogi Yagyavalakya, so Yagyavalaka Samhita is the name of text. So Yoga Vasishta also separately given, means Yoga Samhita and Yoga Vasishta should be different. Ashtang Yoga of Charandas is one separate book. But this Yoga Vasishta and Yoga Vasishta Samhita, I think is the same text, but maybe published differently, is a part of Ramayana only. So what is Samyoga? So the self, individual self, merges with the universal self, is called as Samyoga. So individual self join with the higher self or the universal self. If you see Samyoga, Samadho or Sanyame, ultimately each are going to the same place. But it is matter of talking that we talk in different way. Getting my point? Getting my points? Just try to understand. Ultimately, in essence, whether it is Samyoga, whether it is Samadho, or whether it is Samyame, all are same in essence. But to understand, because the path will be different. There will be different path, different methods. Like Paramatma and Jivatma coming together, Jivatma and Paramatma coming together, the person might take the path of Bhakti Yoga, prayers, chantings, service. Now come to the second definition. Samadho. Yoga Samadhi. This is what Vyasa says. That means yoga is nothing but Samadhi. Concentration, deep concentration. So in Patanjali, they have taken this meaning of yoga. When Patanjali Sutra come, Samadhi become very much important. Integration of what? So Samadhi can be understood in different ways. Samadhi can be understood, for example, when you align your all thought process. So when you close your eyes and just be inside, there is no thoughts. All thoughts are aligned towards the single direction. That means absence of thought. All mental energy is aligned, integrated into single direction. You can say as a Samadhi. This is one meaning. Second meaning, hand, heart and head. Your intellect, your emotion and your action. Everything is written there. So your intellect, your emotion and your action become one. It is not one in general way. People are thinking something, doing something, and your emotions are going somewhere else. There is a complete disintegration in ordinary system. If you integrate your head, heart and hand, that means your intellect, your heart, your emotions and your action integrates, that is also a state of Samadhi. That is also a state of Samadhi. Ida and Pingla merges into Sushumna. Ida is left energy force, Pingla is right energy force, merges together into Sushumna, become one, unite together, state of Samadhi. Got it? That is what called as state of Samadhi. There are many other definitions. Separation from association with pain and suffering is also called as suffering. Somebody is messaging something. Let's see, Eliza, what you're saying. Just wait a minute. In the WhatsApp itself, I will okay. Just wait a minute. This one. So I have reloaded the same. You touch the Eliza and Kruti. You touch. I have reloaded the same. You touch, it will open in the mobile itself, or wherever you are, it will open immediately. So you can see the whole part. Otherwise, don't worry. Just listen it carefully. You can go through it again. What they say again? Tam vidya dukha sam yoga viyogo yog samaggitam. That means, if you can detach from sufferings, pain, unnecessary association from the sufferings, state of suffering, that is also a state of samadhi. That means, the distractions you are able to manage into single alignment, into meditation. So when you sit quietly, when I say, at your eyebrow center, see a bright white light, then you can see bright white light as if you have open, with the open eyes you can see. That is called a samadhi. And there is no thoughts, there is no apprehension, there is no apprehension of future, there is no past carrying, nothing you can see. Then this state is called a state of samadhi. What happened? Your all thought process, energy is aligned, integrated into one direction. That is also one of the definition of samadho. It is called as Swarupa Avastha, your true nature in Patanjali. So right now, it will be some of the things will be flying on the head, but don't worry. When we enter into Sankhya philosophy and in Patanjali, most of things will be clear, very, very clear. Now go to next. Samatvam yog uchyate. Again same, samatvam, balance, complete balance. Equanimity inside in the state of samadhi again. What is equanimity? Whether somebody respects you, somebody insults you, there is a, there is a pain, there is a happiness, there is a cold or heat, whatever changes happening all around, you can keep yourself centered. That is the practical meaning of samadhi. That is a practical meaning of samadhi. Whatever is happening all around, even your body is giving you trouble, but your mind and awareness can be intact, stable, one-pointed, centered. That state is also called as samadhi according to Bhagavad Gita. Got it? Now come to Sanyame. Sanyame is control. What to control? Let's see, explore. Let's explore. What to control? What control is talking about? Now, see Kathopanishad say, Tam yog miti manyate sthiram endriya dharanam. That means if you can control the senses, that means when the energy is dissipating through the sensorial experiences, if you are able to withdraw the energy from sensorial experiences, for example, somebody is foodie and he is not able to control his food. Correct? No, I think everybody got it. Elizabeth and Kruti, are you able to open the file, overview of yoga, what exactly we are studying? You can chat in this here also. In case you are not, well, don't worry, just understand. Yoga's chitta vritti nirodha, that means, what is that? The wavering mind, the modification of mind, if you are able to control. Here control what is being used. Control, sanyam means control. Other one is there. Manaha prasmanoyo payaha yoga ityabhidhiyate. That means yoga is quietening of the mind. Everywhere control what is being used. Yoga karmashu kausalam. That means bringing the skill into action and not letting the mind waver for the fruit or the consequences of the action. But total concentration and control into action. This is what Bhagavad Gita say. And then yoga bhavati dukkha. That means if you can get rid of yoga and the pain and suffering, that is also a state of sanyam. So see, if you see carefully, if you listen it carefully, ultimately whether it is samyoge, that means unification of jivatma with paramatma, individual self with the cosmic self, or samyoge or samadho. Samadho means integration of your personality, head, heart and hand. or merger of Ira, Pingla, Sushumna, or ability to keep your mind always stable, whatever the changes is happening. This is one aspect. Or Sanyame, that means able to control. Everything in essence is same. But to explore and to understand yoga with different perspective, that means one is merger of inner self, individual self with the higher self, state of samadhi, that is concentration and integration, and ability to control what? Senses, the energy which is dissipating through senses, ability to keep your mind under control, and ability to put your thought into action in a meditative way, or ability to get rid of the pain and suffering, Sanyame. Everything are helping each other to reach to the different stage. But as a literature review, we have learned yoga in a 3 heading. Third heading is Samyoge, union of self with the higher self. Samadho, state of concentration and integration. Samyame, ability to control mind, senses, and put all the thoughts together into present action. That is what the literal meaning of yoga is. Is it clear? Now you can ask question. Before I'll go to the next section, even more elaboration, you can ask me question. By the time, let me see. Yes. Good, good, good. We have just started. Otherwise, from next week, we will be forwarding you all the study material, everything, well before 2-3 days. 2-3 days before itself, we will be forwarding you so that you can, if you want to print, you can print and keep the hard copy, or you can organize all the notes in a properly download it and in a folders. In a folders, you can organize with proper headings. We will go very systematically. So it will be not a problem. In case we have problem, we are here, again we'll send you. Now, if you have any question, you can ask. Anybody had any question in Zoom? You would like to ask anything? Kushbu, Dimple, Diago. Very simple it is. 3 headings. We try to understand yoga in a 3 ways. First is Samyoge, unification of individual self with the higher self. Second meaning is Samadho, integration and concentration. Third meaning is control, Sanyame, control of what? Senses, mind, energy, and your thought process, and put into action. And whatever is changes happening all around, you are not getting affected. That is the meaning of Sanyam, full control over your own self. All meanings are same, right? I hope there is no question. Shall we go to the next? Say yes or no.
I have one question, Rajkamalji. So when we say yoga, I do understand, or I'm just trying to get a flavor for all these 3 things that you just said. But is it the end goal, or even during the journey, because we'll start with asana and meditation, which is like step-by-step process. So will we be able to experience these 3 in our journey also, or do you experience it only at the end when you reach end goal?
In the journey, we will experience only few things like relaxation and good health. In the beginning, we will experience only relaxation, that we are very relaxed, and you will experience healthy. We are very healthy, physically, mentally, and emotionally also. Very important. So it takes years to experiencing. These are the end goal. Samadhi, Sanyam, and Samyoge. They are end goal. They are the end purpose. It doesn't come so easily. It takes around 10-15 years of hard work. Then you will experience glimpse of samadhi, glimpse of that your divine nature. When your individual self merges with the divine self, that means what? You will start experiencing divine being inside. That is mean. Control means whatever is happening hardly matters. You just keep going, right? You are able to concentrate on your activities and work. Sanyam. You are able to control your mind, that whatever you decided for yourself, you are able to do it. You are able to follow the discipline. So, it will be cumulative. Some part will be cumulative and some part will be like quantum. So, a jump will come. Suddenly, you will see there is a change in awareness. It happens every 9 months or around 15, 16 months, you will see 1.5 years, there will be change in the consciousness, there will be change in awareness. So there's a cumulative process also, and quantum jump also comes. So gradually people start experiencing glimpse and then proper stability. So in beginning, even though when you do yoga nidra, a glimpse of samadhi comes.
Yeah.
A glimpse of samadhi comes. But it doesn't stay for a long time. When you go to the worldly life, again you are the same kind. Again you fall into the trap of that stress, peculiar kind of expectation from the people and the world and yourself also. We do all the same thing. But while doing asana, pranayama, and yoga nidra and many meditation, a glimpse of samyoge, samadho, and sayyam, all three comes. Glimpse. Now, as you practice, this duration will increase. Now, you'll be able to manage your life in a much better way than before, and better. And the time comes, then you're able to manage your mind and body so well. You hardly fall sick. You're able, whatever you decided for yourself, you're able to manage your life very, very easily. And probably it takes around 10 to 15 years, 10 to 12 years. Then person comes into a state of stability if you follow. Very good question. Any more question? Somebody is asking. Yes. So Bhakti Yoga is also one of the paths which takes you to the ultimate reality. Bhakti Yoga is also one of the paths which takes you to ultimate reality. Now I am going to that part. Your question will be answered in my next section. Now see. Now ultimately we want to go into a state of samyoge, samadho and samyame. That is fine. Very nice. How to go? So depending upon different temperaments, yogis has given many paths. So broadly, this path can be classified into two ways. First is called as Bhavana Yoga. It's the page number 5. Bhavana Yoga. Second is called as Prana Sayyam Yoga. Bhavana Yoga means yoga of attitude. Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga and Karma Yoga comes under this section. Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga and Karma Yoga comes under this section. Got it? Yoga of attitude, that means there is no asana. There is no pranayama. Asana, pranayama come under Prana Sayyam Yoga. That is Mantra Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Laya Yoga and Raj Yoga. Whatever we do, asana, pranayama, meditation, it comes under Raj Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Laya Yoga and Mantra Yoga. Bhavana Yoga, you don't need to do asana. So the person might, it's not very appropriate to do only one-sided yoga. I won't suggest. We have to take the benefit of all. In Bihar School of Yoga is an integral yoga. It's a holistic yoga. That means we take the elements from each section. For study purpose, we can classify the methods of yoga, the path of yoga, chosen by the practitioner depending upon their caliber, their potential and their intention and their temperament. Like some people are emotionally so strong, they can create God in front of them like anything. And they go into samadhi because their emotions are so powerful, but not everybody can do it. You will start asking question, oh, where is the God? I don't see it. You understand? So you are not innocent enough to follow the Bhakti Yoga. Some people can do, but Mirabai, there are many. Gaurang Dev, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there are many. India is so full of Bhakti Yoga. Everywhere there is Bhakti Yoga. Got my point? So, first is Jnana Yoga. What is Jnana Yoga? Yoga of intellect. Some people, by strong contemplation, Aham Brahmasmi, the God is within me. Strong contemplation, very strong intellect, strong self-conviction. Pragyanam Brahma, ultimate reality is Pragya. Aham Brahmasmi, that ultimate reality is me. Tattvamasi, that ultimate reality is in you also. Ayam Atma Brahma, that inner self, ultimately will merge into higher self. By strong mental self-conviction, strong resolve, some people can go into samadhi, is called as Jnana Yogi. There is no confusion. Their mind is so strong, intelligence is so clear, intellect is so clear. By just listening that I am Brahma, I am pure, the purity is in me, and I am able to follow that in my day-to-day activity. Samatvam Yoga Uchyate means once I heard it, contemplated for some years, and then I am not getting bewildered by the situation around me. That are called Jnana Yogi. Very difficult. We can't do it. I don't know whether you can't do it or I can't do it. Very difficult for me to do Jnana Yoga. Now come to Bhakti Yoga. Yoga of devotion. Some people are, emotions are so strong. Emotions are so strong. They don't need any proof that God exists. Their conviction about the existence of God Almighty in their own created form, Krishna, Rama, Allah, Jesus, is so strong. They don't need anything. They are like a child. They never ask whether you are my mother or not. They know that mother is there, you are my mother, and there is no second thought about it. So emotions are so strong, they follow the path of bhakti, and they also go into a state of samyoge, samadho and sanyame. You have to try. Some of you can do it or not. Then come Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga. Some people have very strong faith and conviction about action, and they just go into society and serve the people, provide his all services, skill for the upliftment of society. And they don't want anything. Their mind is so strong, attitude towards the action and the people and service is so strong. Mother Teresa, one of the example. So they just evolve by doing service to the society. They're serving the Guru itself. They are called as Karma Yogi. So their all energy is get channelized through action. They are Karma Yogis. Now I have to see whether you can do it or not. Now, if nothing works, now this Bhavana Yoga is very, you need some level of evolution by birth. It is not so easy. Because in general, we are very confused and we are not able to concentrate so easily through action, through emotion, through intellect. If you can, then you can choose some of the path. Now come to the Prana Shayam Yoga. That means you are dealing with the Prana Shakti. Mantra Yoga means few mantras, divine words they have taken and they will do repetition of the mantra. Soham in yoga. Soham, Soham. They are psychic in nature. They are obsessive people, but this obsession can be converted into positivity by repeating the same word again and again. So all thought process, subconscious, unconscious, conscious, everything is one single vibration will percolate and take over the energy system and channel it into one. That is called as Mantra Yoga. This is also Prana Shayam Yoga because mantra has got prana. Mantra has got energy. Mantras are vibration and energy. One single frequency, and you have just absorbed in such a way in your psyche that you don't need anything else with just chanting. I have seen many people, many yogis, they are doing nothing. They will take one mala, whole day, some mantra. What mantra? They will not tell you, but Guruji has given one mantra to chant whole life, 24 hours, 21,600 times a day. He will chant the mantra and they go into a state of samyoge, samadho and samyame. Whatever the quality I said, all the quality you can see. And I have seen many people like this. They are not sick also. They are physically super fit. It's all up to you. What will work for you? You have to find. That's why Guru has to help. Then come Hatha Yoga. What we are doing? Asana, Pranayama, Shatkarma. Now Hatha Yoga is very famous. But unfortunately, only asana and simple breathing and little bit of relaxation is for this one there. People are not understanding. Hatha Yoga means again energy. Solar energy and lunar energy. That means Ida and Pingla. has to be merged together, balanced and merged together into Sushumna, called as Hatha Yoga. So what you do in Hatha Yoga? Shat Karma, Asana, Pranayama, Mudra, and Bandha. This you do in Hatha Yoga. Once you do Hatha Yoga, your energy is aligned, and then you go into the state of meditation. Practicing meditation is nothing but Raj Yoga. So Hatha Yoga and Raj Yoga goes together. That's why in the beginning I said people are just practicing asana. That also in a very, very, very wrong way. They have converted into some physical activity without focusing on Ida and Pingla. If the practices are not helping to balance and open up the Ida and Pingla and open up the Sushumna, then that practice is not Hatha Yoga. So nadis and chakras has to be considered. Again, that you're dealing with the energy, physical energy, mental energy, pranic energy system manipulation is called as Hatha Yoga and Raj Yoga. Lay Yoga is a yoga when your whole consciousness merges. Lay Yoga is a Kriya Yoga, Kundalini Yoga you can say. Kundalini Yoga. Hatha Yoga, Raj Yoga will help you to awaken the dormant energy system. Through this, you can go into a state of Samyoge, Samadho and Sanyame. So two ways are there. Bhavana, through attitudinal, some people evolved, or some different temperament made up of different material, I will say, they are able to go into a state of Samyoge, Samadho and Samyame. State of integration, state of concentration and state of complete control. So this is about this one. About the Jnana Yoga, Hatha Yoga, we will learn in a detail, Bhakti Yoga. Right now we are just overview. I am just creating a mood, a right mood, so that you will feel like you are into teacher's training program. Misconception, I will tell you, it has been taken as just fitness and therapy part. Some yoga, samadho, and that sanyam, control, that part should not be missed. We have to follow ultimate goal. So step by step, 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 we have to go to that part. That is misconception. I told already. So now, origin of yoga. Now, origin of yoga. How yoga came into existence. There are many views. There are many researches has been done, individual level and group level. Many people have tried many things to understand how yoga came into existence. Whatever you are learning right now, how it came into existence. This is the big question. So I would like you to put your thought. What is the origin of yoga? Anybody has any understanding? You can write in the chat or you can talk in Zoom. So how yoga came into existence? Right now so yoga is quite famous all over the world. Millions people, billions, they are doing yoga. There are even millions of yoga teachers. So how yoga came into existence is very important to understand. So you can put your thought, you can say something, whatever you know and understand. Then I will put my thought. Start now. Just scratch, learn how to express whatever you know. That is the first step of learning. So we all are yoga practitioners. We have been doing yoga. So now just put some thought.
One of the thing that I have heard is the creator of yoga is Shiva, and Shiva was teaching Parvati about yoga, and that's how yoga came into being.
Very nice. Very good. Very good. Very nice. Anybody else?
Karma Yoga came through Mahabharata.
Sunil, first you tell. Then I will. Sunil, first you tell.
Yeah, Karma Yoga came through Mahabharata.
Karma Yoga came from Mahabharata. Good. Very nice. Acha, somebody else wants to say something? Say. Lesson from Lord Shiva to Parvati. Very nice. Very nice. Good, good, good. Anybody else want to say something? Feel yourself free. Be active in the class. Otherwise you feel sleepy. Hiranyagarbha. Very nice. Hiranyagarbha means cosmic mind. Originated through Bhagavad Gita. In Hatha Yoga Pratipika, Lord Shiva has given knowledge of yoga to the Parvati. Okay, done. I got it. Now, let me start again. So, now it is very much well known. Traditionally, we know that Lord Shiva has given the knowledge of yoga to Devi Parvati in their discussion. Okay. Right? And then while he was giving the knowledge of yoga to Parvati, in Mansarovar lake, a fish heard this knowledge, and because of knowledge of yoga, he took birth of human called as Matsyendranath. He took the birth of human, Matsyendranath, and Matsyendranath is supposed to be the propounder of Hatha Yoga. Matsyendranath is a propounder of Hatha Yoga, what you practice right now. That is fine. Now come to historical development. This is tradition says, but you can't prove it. Historical development means archaeological survey, archaeological excavation. What historians say about yoga? What is the evidence we can say this is the origin of yoga? What are the evidence we can say? So if you see, and now you can ask a very good question here, whether yoga is an Indian phenomenon or a Hindu phenomenon or is a universal phenomenon. So now the surveys has been done all over the world. And in the cave painting of Siberia, in the cave painting of Colombia and many South American countries, we have people from Colombia, we have people from Ecuador, South American countries, and I think we have people from not Russia but Poland is fine. So in Siberia, many places, even in Bhimbetka in India also, many places now prehistorical time is in prehistorical time, these cave paintings, coins, and other excavations are the evidences. It has been seen in the cave paintings. We can't even imagine 30,000 years back or some 10,000 years back also. They were posture of yoga. They were Kundalini Shakti, like that was there. And then we have seen in the Harappan Sanskriti also, from the excavation from Harappa, Indus Valley, Saraswati civilization, the fingerings and the idols, Pashupati idols, Lord Shiva sitting in meditation, and many other posture has been seen. Asana, people are doing asana, people are doing meditation. And if you go into interior part of the Adivasis area, you will see people in that area, different part of the world, not only in India. So you can't say yoga is an Indian phenomenon. It's a transcontinental phenomenon. Be sure about it. Yoga is a transcontinental phenomenon because the cave paintings and the excavations, archaeological excavations, says it is so ancient, but it is very difficult to pinpoint that this is the date or origin of yoga, and somebody has taught yoga. Like that. Got it my point? So in Colombia, in South America, like Peru, and the Mayan Sabhata, even you go into the Middle East, that Middle East, Iraq, Iran, all those civilization, ancient civilization I'm talking about. Even you go to the south, even you go to Africa, even you go to the Russia, European countries, Asian countries, if you go East Asian countries, India, everywhere in excavation, sign and symbols of yoga practices is seen. And it is as old as perhaps Stone Age from that time. The cave painting in after Bronze Age, Iron Age, or many Iron Age, Bronze Age, Stone Age, from that time, the excavation has been seen. So in Indus Valley civilization also, we have seen. In Vedic civilization, we already know yoga is there. So it is very difficult to say when yoga started, and it is very difficult to say whether yoga is an Indian phenomenon. In India, somehow, Indian temperament, we have done compilation of yogic knowledge into scriptures. And in India, we have tradition of Shruti. That means we pass the knowledge from one generation to other generation. Because of that, maybe the knowledge of yoga flourished in India in a full-fledged form. Supported by scriptures, supported by traditions. There are many traditions in North India, in South India. There are many traditions who support it, let the yoga grow. So if somebody say whether yoga is an Indian phenomenon, you can say no. It's a trans-civilization, trans-cultural and trans-continental phenomenon, because the archaeological evidences suggests that every part of the world in ancient time, the practices of yoga was prevalent. What form, in what way they are doing, we are not known. In India, it is preserved in tradition. It is well flourished. It has developed and grown up. So now, in today's world, India's contribution to the yoga is immense because we have documentation and support for the yoga principles, practices, and philosophies. Is it clear? Origin of yoga? Is it clear? Is it clear? What is the origin of yoga? What is the origin of yoga? Whatever I said, it is written in the book. You can read. Is it clear? What is the origin of yoga? You can't say it's Indian origin. Okay, understand. You can say it's a transcontinental, transcultural, and trans-civilization. It was there every part of the world. How it was there, it is very difficult to say. If you go Mayan Sabhyata, if you go Mesopotamian Sabhyata, or there are many civilizations, if you go, you will see there are signs and symptoms of yoga. In general, we say, the moment human being become aware of self-awareness came into existence, that point we can say is the origin of yoga. So, it's not contradictory to the Lord Shiva and Parvati. Who is Shiva? It's pure consciousness here. Who is Parvati? The receiver of knowledge from pure consciousness. When it happens in meditation. When it happens in meditation. So the true knowledge of yoga comes when you go very deep into meditation. That's why yogena yoga gatyavyam. Understood? Yoga can be known through yoga only. So the discussion between Lord and Shiva and Parvati is not contradictory to the archaeological excavation and findings. Rather, it simply means the moment you are self-aware, the moment you are in commune with the higher consciousness, the moment you start communicating with the higher consciousness, and where it is? Here, inside. Pragyanam Brahma. My ultimate reality is pure consciousness. Aham Brahmasmi, that ultimate reality is in me. Tattvamasi, that ultimate reality is in you. Ayam Atma Brahma, every individual being will become a Brahma one day. Today you are in a potential form. You are not Brahma. You are in a potential form. You have potential to go to the state of Brahma. You understand? So the discussion between Lord Shiva and Parvati tells you about the knowledge of yoga came into existence when you go very deep into meditation. And who will go? Because of mutation of the gene. Through the evolution of human being from lower primitive state to Homo sapien state, there were many evolution took place. Through this evolutionary process, there were change in the genetic pattern. There are always change in the genetic pattern. See, all of you are joining TTC course. Definitely, you have different gene. You are inclined towards yoga. Not everybody will go to the yoga. No, everybody takes yoga. No, everybody comes to do teachers training. Many of you are learning for your purpose. Some of you want to become a yoga teacher. Very, very good. You must become, because we need yoga teacher to teach. But most of you just want to learn for yourself. That means you have different genetic makeup, different inclination, different consciousness. Because of the evolution of human being from primitive state to advanced state, or let's say Homo sapiens, there are many genetic expression changes happen, mutation. So during this meeting, some people by birth will go into deep meditation. Just try to understand this fact. Some people, we call yogi, siddha. Now, say that by birth, by mantra chanting, by yoga practice, that is samadhi, or by herbs, one can go into deep meditation. This is what Patanjali says. I will tell you when I will read Patanjali Sutra. That time I will explain you in a better way. So many people by birth, without doing any yoga, they go into deep meditation. When they go into deep meditation, there is a communication between Lord Shiva and Lord Parvati. Got it? And when he come out from the meditation, they will say, this is what they're talking about. This is the essence of yoga. This is the way yoga came into existence. Now go into history. So Patanjali, the age of Patanjali around 200 to 300 BC, we call it as a classical form. We say. Because during this classical time, lots of books has been written. So first come the Vedic time. What is happening in the Vedic time? This is history of yoga now we are learning. In Vedic time, Vedas. So Vedas are also an authentic source of yoga. In fact, the philosophy of yoga, called as Sankhya philosophy, has taken from Nasidiya Sukta of Rig Veda, Mandala 10. From there, it came Sankhya. From Sankhya came Yoga Sutra. So, Veda, Vedic time, that Veda, 4 Vedas, Rig Veda, Sam Veda, Yajur Veda, Athar Veda. These 4 Veda are the authentic source of knowledge of yoga. Getting my point? After Veda came the time of Upanishads. 108 Upanishads. And some important texts like Bhagavad Gita. Getting my point? So, after Veda came Upanishads. In these Upanishads, they also talk about yoga. Kathopanishads, Ishavashopanishads. Yoga Upanishads are there. Yoga Chudamani Upanishads. There are many Yoga Upanishads who talks about fully yoga. So, pre-classical means time of Upanishads. Time of Upanishads. Then come classical period. In classical period, Patanjali Yoga Sutra. And after classical period, Hatha Yoga Pratipika, Gheran Samhita. There are many texts came into existence. And then come modern time. In modern time, we start our discussion from Swami Vivekananda. In modern time, this is an article. You go through it. Very simple it is. You can listen the video again and again. It will go into your mind. I will, while before closing, I will explain you it again. So don't worry completely. In modern time, it was Swami Vivekananda in Chicago religious conference. He explained the world about the yoga. He talked about Raj Yoga, Gyan Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, about the yoga. So here we say in modern time, it is Swami Vivekananda who started teaching yoga at international level, at global level. After that, many people came into existence. Paramhansa Yogananda, Yogada Satsang, then Swami Ramatirtha, then Swami Kaivalyananda, who has established the Kaivalya Dham. Kaivalya Dham is a yogic institution. It is one of the most prominent institutions in India. It is the, I think, first research institution in India who started doing research on yoga. Kaivalyananda, Swami Kaivalyananda, Kaivalya Dham. Many came. Ramana Maharshi, Jadu Krishnamurti. Like that, many people came into existence. Prabhupada, ISKCON. And then Swami Shivananda, Swami Vishnu Devananda, Chidananda, Swami Satyananda, Yogi Bhajan, who started teaching yoga, Sikhism-based yoga, Kundalini yoga, Osho, Rajneesh, Bhagwan Osho, Rajneesh, Ramana Maharshi, Sri Aurobindo of Pondicherry. Ramana Maharshi, you know that, Arunachalam. Then Krishnacharya, the guru of B.K.S. Iyengar. So B.K.S. Iyengar, Patabi Joyce, Indra Devi, all these are very prominent teachers of yoga. And then Chinmaya, Gyan Yoga, Chinmaya Mission. These all came into existence in modern time. I will revise it again. So traces of yoga, although we see in Harappan Sanskriti, even pre-Harappan Sanskriti, in cave paintings, and many of the archaeological excavations, we can track this in Vedic literature also. Rig Veda, Sam Veda, Ajur Veda and Athar Veda. that is called as Vedic period. Pre-classical period, that means after Vedic period, we have discussed yoga in form of Upanishads. Upanishads. So Ved and Upanishads, I am going to teach you separately. So totally don't worry. This is just general information, general knowledge. We are just starting, picking up. Okay. And then come classical. What is classical? Classical Patanjali Yoga Sutra is the watershed, watermark on the history of yoga. And then post-classical, many books came into existence. Hatha Yoga Pratipika, like 14th century book it is. Gheran Samhita, Hatha Yoga Ratnavali, Gorak Samhita, Shiva Samhita. There are many small and many books which you read today. They all came into existence. In modern time, Swami Vivekananda at international level started teaching yoga, but he was not a Hatha Yoga teacher. He was Raj Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Prem Yoga, then many kinds of yoga teaching. Hatha Yoga, hardly he taught something, but yoga as a philosophy he started teaching. After that, many people came into existence. So it is said that the theoretical and international establishment of yoga is done by Swami Vivekananda. Practices in the yoga in a practical form, how to practice, is done by Swami Shivananda, our Dada Guruji. And scientific form of yoga is published and taught by Bihar School of Yoga. Because if you see Bihar School of Yoga is one of the prominent institution and front leader in the field of scientific yoga. Teaching yoga in a scientific way. So Kaivalya Dham and Bihar School of Yoga are the front institution who started teaching yoga in a very, very scientific way. In southern India, Krishnamacharya system, Patabi Joyce, B.K. Iyengar, Indra Devi are also one of the prominent figure on the path of yoga. They started also teaching yoga in a very, very systematic, formulated and international at international platform. This is about the history of yoga. Got it? Now I'll wait for some time. I'll wait for your question. You can ask question. You can ask question. Hiranyagarbha is cosmic mind. It is, you can say Lord Brahma. Hiranyagarbha means cosmic mind. The golden ball. Any question you can ask me like in Zoom or it's very simple and clear. Whatever I said is very simple and very clear. Concepts are very, very clear. There are hardly any question, but still you have some queries, you can ask me.
I have a question.
Please tell me.
Yeah, so the sorrow and pain, it eliminates one from sorrow and pain, right? So stress was never a word in the olden times. So I think sorrow and pain, are they just related to death and birth? Is it just that?
No.
How did they come through?
It is stress only. So stress in Patanjali is said as klesha. Kleshas. So now, when you read Sankhya philosophy, they say that Treya Dukkha, that means the problems, pain, suffering or stress which is arising from body and mind or from environment induced or unknown cause. We don't know why we are under stress or suffering and pain. So pain, suffering and stress, we can just are very synonymous when it comes to the yoga. So in yoga, in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the same word stress you can correlate with the kleshas. They say kleshas. Kleshas. So vritti panchatya klishta aklishta. So 5 types of wavering of the mind, whether it will be painful or it will be non-painful. They never say it will be blissful. Understand? Whether painful or non-painful, they never say it will be pleasant. The word pleasant is not used. So stress or non-stress they say. So kleshas and klishta and aklishta means that. And then they say, whatever you try, you can't get rid of this 3 dukkha until unless you realize your true self. Now see how to get rid of this stress. There's a beautiful way of managing this stress in yoga. They say there are 5 types of kleshas. What are the 5 places? Avidya. avidya, asmita, rag, dvesh, avinivesh. If you really want to get rid of the stress, if you really want to manage, so in Patanjali, I'm going to teach you what is the yogic way of stress management. How to get rid of the stress permanently. So stress, if you want to learn stress in a very elaborated way, so Health Psychology is a one book by Taylor. Health Psychology is a one book by Taylor. You can read. So she has elaborated the stress in a very, very large way, very, very big way. So physical stress, mental stress, there are many kinds of stress, even unconscious stress. So Sigmund Freud talks about the many stresses also, the stresses which is coming from unconscious mind. So all put together in yoga, we say, don't see the stress only as a shallow tension on your head. If you really want to get rid of the stress permanently, if you want to get rid of Traya Dukkha permanently. So in Sankhya, in the beginning, in the first verses of Sankhya say, we all suffer from Tri Dukkha, Daihik, Daivik, Bhautik. To get rid of this Tri Dukkha, there are many methods. But all these methods are shallow in nature. If you want to get rid of the stress permanently, you have to go into Samadhi. You have to experience the deepest being which is there in self. So, Anna mein kosa, Prana mein kosa, Vijnana mein kosa, Mano mein kosa. You have to bypass all the kosa, go into Ananda mein kosa, until unless you are self-realized, stress never happens. That's why I told you, when you do yoga and yoga nidra and everything, you will feel very nice, so fantastic. But once you give up and go to the worldly life, again you are to the same position. So where is a permanent solution? There is no permanent solution until unless you go into some yoga, samadho and sanyame. That's why the yoga is very clear about it. Until unless you know how to, avidya means ignorance. Absence of knowledge of true self is called as avidya. Asmita means not able to connect with the ecology. You have too much of individuality. You can say selfishness. Asmita means you are not able to connect with the people. Getting my point? Raga dvesa, until unless likes and dislikes are there. I like this, I don't like this. If that kind of thought process is there. Avinivesha, you don't want to transform and change. Now all of you are here because you understand we should transform from whatever you are. Many of you are just for the self-purpose, want to improve your lifestyle, your personality. So avinivesh, that knowledge is there that I have to transform from this personality to some other personality. Absence of this knowledge and fear of this knowledge is called as avinivesha. So Patanjali says, just doing yoga nidra and little bit of here and there asana, it will not work. You have to work on the deep psyche. The tension which is arising from unconscious, we have to clear it up. Conscious clearing, subconscious clearing, unconscious clearing has to be done. Complete clearing and unification of energy into single direction is the only solution for getting rid of all stress, all tension, all sufferings. Very good question. Any other question you can ask? Now I am going to close class today because next topic I will take next week, not this week. You can ask any question right now, otherwise we'll do Om chanting and we'll close the session today. Sir, during which stage do you think the yoga shifted from the holistic development into asana? During modern time, very nice question, Manasa. During modern time, when yoga became a global phenomenon, then it went to every parts of the world. And different parts of the world, they have different kinds of people. So sitting into meditation and working on your mind and attitude is not so easy for everyone. So now they started practicing only asana because asana was the only workable thing for them. And then when last 30 years, when yoga became a commercial, lots of commercial people entered into yoga. So they started packaging yoga. They started looking at the demand and requirements of the people. And then yoga also entered into gym area. So in this way, it completely got modified. We say that when yoga reflected back from the Atlantic shore, it completely got modified. So basically what I feel, commercialization, basically, people are just, so they don't want to tell something which you don't accept. Abhinivesha, since not everyone is trying to transform their life. They want to continue. People are coming and saying, sir, they're drinking whole night and then morning they are doing yoga. I say, okay, don't drink. If you don't drink, how will you do meditation? Sir, you teach me something, but I can't stop drinking. They don't want to transform. So yoga, they don't want to take as a, so what commercial people has, you don't stop drinking hardly matters. You want to do yoga, come and do yoga. So if you start teaching yoga in a holistic way, to many people it doesn't work. So because of commercialization and interaction with all over the world, it got completely deformed. Completely deformed into something else. That could be one of the reasons. Do people come from samadhi life to normal life? Yes, samadhi means doesn't mean that you have to take sannyas and go away from the life. In normal life, in normal life, you can experience samadhi. For example, if some of you are a musician, when you practice music, and you are deep into music, very, very deep, a time comes where there is hardly any thought, you are into samadhi. Samadhi means ability to manage your life in very, very, very sophisticated way. That is state of samadhi. If you can manage your life, suppose you know that this is not good for my health and you're able to handle that, that is samadhi. Samadhi is integration. Many people think we are living in a corrupt world. How without lying or without cunningness and hypocrisy you can survive? You can survive very well. Because when you practice yoga and your right path, you become so strong and so intelligent, you don't need the bad kind of tools. Bad kind of tools like corruption and cunningness and hypocrisy and other things to progress in your life. One can progress with power of intelligence. So what is the outcome of samadhi? Pragyanam Brahma. What is pragya? Pure and very powerful intelligence. Corruption is expression of weak mind, not the strong mind. So don't think that if you go into samadhi or deep meditation, you can't come into normal life. Definitely you can come into normal life. You can live a better normal life. Done? I have any more question? You can ask me right now. Otherwise, I will do Om chanting and close.
You mentioned that yoga is transcontinental, and in India, probably we documented it in more formal way with Ved Vyas, Patanjali, and so on. Is there any documentation of yoga that has come from any of the foreign countries? People usually say...
It came from foreign countries. It has been the part and parcel of the ancient civilization all over the world. So we have seen, so there's one book from Bihar School of Yoga, Sure Ways of Realization. There's a book from Bihar School of Yoga. This book is written for this purpose only. It's a big, thick book. You can get from, I think it will be available in Amazon or somewhere. So Sure Ways of Realization. So in which Swami Satyananda himself has surveyed many countries to see himself whether in the cave painting this sign, symbol, posture of asana, kundalini and other things are mentioned or not. And if you go very deep into jungle also, the Adivasis, Samans, they practice many kinds of pranayama and meditation. They also practice different kind of posture also. Getting my point? Because of that reason, it is called a transcontinental phenomenon. Because it was part of ancient civilization. Yoga, why it will be part of ancient civilization? I told you because of genetic makeup. Because of genetic makeup, every society will be having one yogi. Every society will be having one person who is unbiased, who is not biased, who is totally unbiased, and he just see the things, see the phenomenon as it is. And every society, there will be one person, different ages I am telling, there will be many person, and by default, they will go into meditation. You see?
Yeah.
Every society there will be one person. So we say them prophet, we say them saint, we say them yogi. In their local language, they will say something to them. We can say different names will be there. The language and geography is different. But the phenomenon of yoga is same. It is just ability to go beyond body and mind. The compulsion and obsession of body and mind, if you can handle. Compulsion and obsession of the body and mind, if you can handle. Body, mind and emotions, if you can handle. You go into state of yoga. And what happened in the yoga state of Swarupavastha? You understand true nature. What is the quality of true nature? Nothing. It is pure. It has no color. It is completely blank. It just sees the thing as it is. It's very logical. It can think unbiased. Not influenced by culture, not influenced by language, not influenced by any of the action around. His own action. So some people by birth, we say them yogi, Bal yogi, siddhas. In India we say siddhas. We say prophet. We say different names. Different culture, there will be different names. We say them. And they will be talking about yoga. Is it clear? If you want to go into deep elaboration, you read a book called as Sure Ways of Realization by Paramahansa Swami Satyananda Ji from Bihar School of Yoga. You can get from internet. You can order from any of the, this online guys. You can read this. I think no more question. We'll do Om chanting. Take deep breath in wherever you are.